guys, it is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Got a beautiful song from Coldplay today. We're going to learn how to play Sparks. So this is really kind of based off the way they originally recorded it. I realized that Chris Martin, he kind of adds some things, to it. He kind of just adds a little bit different stuff to the chords here and there. And he plays the verses slightly differently as well. And I'll talk about what he does now a little bit and what he did back in the day. I'm going to do kind of the original recorded version, how I think they originally did it instead. Because I think there's parts of it that are just really, really nice that are on the original recording that I don't want to leave out. So now, before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and ring the notification bell so you can release a new video. You can like and comment on them, watch them. It really helps it get seen by YouTube, just kind of send it out to more people, and which helps the channel overall. And if you really want to support what I do here on YouTube, the best way to do it is actually to join my Guitar Academy, and you're going to see a link to that in the description below. It's all my guitar courses. Like, it's my online guitar school, from complete beginner courses to more advanced courses on technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone. You name it, it's all there. I'm live every Saturday, which is Academy members too. It's like a live stream, and you get personalized support from me, so it's a lot of fun. So free 7-day trial by clicking that link below. All right, let's jump into the track. So one strange thing about this song is the tuning. Now, you guys see I have a capo, or if it's a capo, or whatever they say it on the other side of the pond, but here in America they call it a capo. And that's at the 6th fret, so that's easy enough. But before you do that, you tune the guitar to standard tuning, except the high E string is tuned down to D. So it's E, A, D, G, B, so that's all, starting with the 6th string, that's all like a standard tuned guitar. But when you get to that high E string, tune the E, that high E, down to a D. So just the high E. And all the other strings are in standard tuning. And that gives us a really cool minor 7th chord, really easy when you do like that. So capoed here at the 6th fret. All right, so we're gonna have this intro, which comes back through in the song when he's doing the. So that's the same thing that's going on in that part. So it looks like this. All right, so I am also fingering these chords differently than Chris Martin does. I'll tell you how he does it too. But so we're gonna start with this. I'm gonna call this, it's just like an E minor chord that you learn down here, but we have the capo at the 6th fret, so we're gonna treat that as the open strings now. So it's just 2 frets in front of the capo there. So the 8th fret of the guitar on the A string and the D string. So you start with just that, which actually makes, technically it's a B flat minor 7 chord with that tuning. So we have that, and then we're gonna jump up here and he mutes the low E string there with his thumb. And we're gonna come up here, we're gonna play the 12th fret there on the A, and then the 10th fret there on the D, open G, B, and high E string. And remember, you're muting that low. And then just take that shape up 1 fret. And then we're gonna go up, keep going up to the 14th fret there on the A and the 13th fret on the D. So it's like, so we get this so far. From here, we're gonna go down here to this 10th fret on the A, 8th fret there on the D. So that's, now when you get down to this, throughout the song sometimes, especially when he's singing over it, you can hear have the low E string in there as well. But it's gonna be the 10th fret there on the A, 8th fret there on the D. And then all the other strings open. It's kind of really, you're wanting to hear these notes there. Because then he takes the note on the A string down to the 9th fret. So we have this. have this little fill. So that's going to be just a quick hammer on. So pick that open string there on the D and hammer on 2 frets in front of it on the capo there. So you're basically hammering on the 8th fret. Back to the open D, then the open A. And now he goes to the chords. Now these chords are played, he plays them a little bit differently now, but even back then he uses his thumb. So it's kind of like this. I believe that's how he was playing it back when it was originally recorded. I don't like using my thumb for I can use it for a while, but it starts getting kind of tired out. So I usually switch back and if I can use just all my fingers for everything, I do that. So it's the same thing, but a little bit easier for me. I don't have the longest thumbs in the world. So now, what is the difference between what he's doing with this chord and how he plays it now? So this kind of like a major 7th voicing to this. He doesn't play it like that when I see him play it live. Now he plays the verses just as a like a major shape, and obviously lets the open strings ring out. So he's basically playing it like this these days. He's thumbing the 9th fret there on the low E string, then the 11th fret on the A, 11th fret on the D, and the 10th fret there on the G. And you can let the B and high E ring open. And then he goes to this chord, which is open E, then the 13th on the A, 11 on the D, open G, B, and high E. So that's kind of how he's playing it these days. There's a little half of a verse on the original recording that he actually plays like that, but on the original recording, that first chord is actually a major. It's got that because it's got that little. That keeps going back and forth, which sounds really nice, and I didn't want to lose that. As opposed to this. See, that's kind of today's version of it, but I like this one. So the way I actually think it was recorded, that thumb still at the 9, 11 on the A, but 10 on the D, 10 on the G. It's not as comfortable as a chord, especially the way he plays it with his thumb down here, so it's probably why he just kind of is using that one. But it's that 9, 11, then 10, 10, open B, high E. Now I'm playing that like this. I'm just playing the 9 with my index finger. Pinky there, and then so I don't have to use my thumb. And then the second chord is the same. He plays it the same way this time. So it's just that first chord. So he does this 4 times. Now he's going to do it 2 more times for the first half of the verse. Drive you away. Here he switches to it like a minor type chord. So once again, he's playing this with his thumb way up here, which is very uncomfortable for me. So I'm going to, depending on how long your thumb is, it might be very comfortable for you. So it doesn't really matter, but we're just playing the same notes. Just we're playing the 11th fret there on the low E string, 13th on the A, 13th on the D, and 11 on the G. Open B, open high E. Well, it's obviously a D string now, but so out there we have this. Yeah. Did it drive you away? I know what you'll say. Oh. Then back to the. Back to that C not C sharp, kind of major 7 deal, And then what it does here is he goes to that chord, which I said it was a new way he plays it now. Well, he transitions to that. So that's coming from that one we just played up to now the 11th fret there. Still keep the 9 on the low E, but 11 on the A and D, and a 10 on the G string. So from here, he transitions. And then he does the verse again. So the second time through now, the verse, he doesn't do the major 7 one. He does it the way he plays it these days, like this. I promise you this. I'll always look out for you. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Then the same ending, that major 7 to the major. So all together for the verse, this first verse, which this first half is different than the second, just from that chord, instead of this, it's this. So it looks like this. Did it drive you away? I know what you say. Oh, someone we know. Back to the regular major. Now I'll play this. Same ending. And now when he goes into the head voice stuff, which I love that, whenever I get a chance to use my head voice, I do. It's dreamy. So we're going to do that opening intro chord sequence twice. So it's like... And then that little fill takes us back to basically the same thing we did at the beginning. Done 4 times. Now the verse comes in, so the second verse is the first half of it is the same as the first verse. All right, now the second half of the second verse is where they get weird. So he's starting with this. He's made it to the kind of the major version of it. So which started how we played the second half of the first verse. So you can start with that same first 2 chords, and then it does this. Very weird. So what's going on there? So we're going to start here, the second half of the second verse. You're to this chord, and that same one we did before. But from there, instead of going back to here, again, and doing those 2 transitions, from this first time I'm playing this chord, you're going to take that back to the 12th fret there on the A instead of 13. Then you're gonna play that major chord that we're familiar with, and then go to the major 7th. So it goes. So it's very odd. So it's kind of like. So after that major to the major 7, we go to this kind of just basically playing an A minor in front of the A minor shape in front of the capo. Now when he's playing this one, he's kind of strumming. You can hear him kind of hammering on, just kind of picking up the note on the G string and hammering it back down. And maybe on the B string as well. And then that same ending. So that second verse is a weird one. It's just that second half of it is just. But that's the only time you're going to see that. And then it goes back into the kind of falsetto section over that intro riff. Now here he doesn't do the fill to leave this part here. He goes right into this. And he's just kind of just that major 7 kind of form and that second chord. So it's just that kind of repeats of this kind of outro section. And then you can just end it on the C major or the major 7. Something too. Not even sure which one they do it on, but it's some kind of C sharp chord. Anyway, so it's a C sharp, not a C. Anyway, so that's obviously just kind of the chords, the basic the most important things. Just a lot of like overdubs and guitar layers on there, but I'm not focusing on those. I'm just basically looking at what Chris Martin was playing on the original recording, which is really, really great. Some very unique chords, some beautiful vocal melodies and lyrics. So hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a great tune, and if you at least don't, for me, if I don't use my thumb, it's pretty easy to play. All right, I'll see you guys soon for GuitarLessons365.com.